Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be going over Dark Athel because today is the day that she kind of hits the player base full force. Long-term players who are active are going to be getting Dark Athel as a reward like yesterday or today. So wanted to do a quick video where I'm going over her, so let's get into it. Alrighty, so Dark Athel is in the index, the Undead Hordes, and she is an epic right here. So, first, aesthetics look pretty cool. She kind of looks how I would expect a Dark Athel to look, so that's a good job there. We can see a base speed of 100, which is always great. Anytime a hero has a base speed of over 95, we are, glad to see that. So let's start with the A1. We've got attack one enemy 2 times with a 40% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense for 2 turns. We can get that to a 50% chance, which is a decent A1, especially for dungeons and the clan boss. An A2, that is AoE with a 50% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. We can get that to a 4-turn cooldown. I like this for dungeon farming, an AoE that lowers the speed of the enemy team, so that's pretty decent there. And then we've got an A3 that is also AoE, places a 30% increased speed buff on this champion for 3 turns if this attack kills 4 or more enemies. Heals this champion by 50% of their max HP. If this attack kills 6 or more enemies, grants an extra turn if this attack kills 10 or more enemies. We can get that to a 4-turn cooldown. So the rough part about this is you can't really get it to stack up in dungeons. Like how most dungeons have like the first couple waves of trash mobs and then a boss fight. Ideally you would want Dark Athel to go last, get all of the kills, and then stack these buffs. But if she gets those kills in the dungeons, it's gonna go to the next wave and it clears all buffs and debuffs. So really, this is only viable as an A3 for fights that are a sustained long-term battle, like the clan boss, which this isn't gonna proc anything there. The arena, it's not gonna proc anything there. So mainly, it's just the spider den is the only place I can think of where this would be useful. So if you set up Dark Athel to be a hard hitter and go last so that maybe, spiderlings are hurt and then she wipes them out, I could see getting a little bit of value out of this ability, but it seems very specific and very inconsistent. Now, one thing I'm kind of thinking in my head is that there's going to be new content coming up soon or at some point in the future where Dark Athel and specifically this type of an ability shines, like a dungeon that throws a ton of little AoE mobs. So Dark Athel might be like double S tier, where she's constantly killing 10 enemies and getting an extra turn. So she would be really good in a setting like that. Like maybe the next clan boss is going to be like a super swarm Zerg type AoE fight where Dark Athel will really do good. I'm thinking that she's going to be very relevant for content in the future because she's not very relevant, especially with this ability, for current content. And then the R right here is increase ally attack in all battles by 20%. At least it's all battles, but it's a pretty meh aura. I mean, it's okay, but it's nothing great. So my overall grade for Dark Athel currently would probably be like a B- or a C+. I mean, if she was a rare, she'd be good, but I have to grade her a little bit more harshly because she's an epic. So yeah, I would say B-, C+, somewhere in there is kind of where she would come out in grading in terms of should you invest in your Dark Athel or not. If you got her, you're obviously 90 days in. If you got her for free by 90 days, you probably have a better option for like a magic affinity damage dealer. So I would say it's pretty rare where I would recommend somebody invest fully in Dark Athel. She takes 4 plus 5 is 9 plus 4 is 13. She takes 13 books, which is a little on the heavy side. I would like to see her be in that 9 to 11 range. Personally, what I would do is combine this to be 10% buff chance, and combine this to be 15% to shorten up a book there, and then 10%. cooldown to get her down to like 10 books instead of 13, because even then it would be kind of up in the air of whether or not you should invest in her or not. So my general consensus, if you're asking, should you invest in your Dark Athel and build her up and 6-star her and book her, my general consensus would be no. But if you have a specific scenario where you think it makes a lot of sense to invest in Dark Athel for you, definitely let me know. I would love to hear your input on that. So that's kind of the general overview of Dark Athel that I wanted to cover. And also, just so I don't make this video super short, I want to go over this offer here, this great deal mix pack, because I'm seeing this posted a lot within the community. People asking, you know, is this a good deal? Is this something that I should buy or not? And, you know, I went ahead and filled it out on my raid offer calculator here, and it comes up to something that I would be willing to pay about $30 to $32 for, somewhere in that range. Now, if you are a brand new player, if you're new to the game, like if you don't have very many 6-stars, maybe you don't even have a 6-star at all, this offer makes a lot more sense, because it can, boom, get you that 6-star right away and you're off and rolling. So admittedly, if I were a brand new player, I would deeply think about this. But as an endgame player, no. I would much rather just get energy refills or gems. I'm not going to be buying an offer with brews and chicken in it. So as an endgame player, I would say no to this offer. As a very new player, I would say, you know, it makes a lot more sense. I still don't know if I would fully recommend it, but it definitely makes a lot more sense for, you know, brand new players versus endgame players. Now, for the Golem tournament, and sorry the music cuts out, it always does for events. I do want to cover this really quick in this video because that's kind of what went live today, and I don't know if I'm going to get to do a full-on community update video within the next day. So, you know, this event is structured a little bit better than the previous ones, because we can see here that it only takes 1,750 points. Well, I shouldn't say only. I mean, that's still a lot, but it is less than we've seen. You know, I think one of them took like 2,000, and then one of them took like 2,250 or something, if I remember right. So at least the points to get the prizes all the way up to the 5-star chicken has come down a little bit, and I do like the rewards on the way to the chicken. 125k, this used to be like 30k, which is absolutely worthless. At least it's 125k, you know, so it's a little bit better than the trash level of silver that it used to be. And then we actually get 4 legitimate rewards. This is 4 pieces of the crit damage set, which the crit damage set is a very good set. It's viable in the arena and many different areas of the game. So I do like those rewards. And then as we can see, at number 1, we are getting the Honor Guard, which is one of the heroes required for the current Fusion event that they are pushing out. So, you know, I guess the main question a lot of people will be asking is, you know, should I bother? Should I sink a lot of energy into the Golem event? And to that, I would say if you're an endgame player, I think it does make sense, because getting the 4 pieces, at least get to like 1,500 and get the 4 pieces of gear, that can be pretty handy. And then it's only 250 to get the 5-star chicken. So for endgame players, it's a decent event. For early game players who don't have a lot of 6 stars yet, you might be better off investing your energy in more XP and getting ready to set yourself up to, you know, progress more heroes to the end game and be able to do your minnow grind and stuff. So that's kind of my input on that. And then I'll quickly go over how to determine if these pieces of crit damage are good. So what I'll do is I'll claim a couple of these live, and let's see what we get. And I'll kind of go over how to determine if they're a good piece or not. So we're just going to click on an item and then go to new, and this is where they will show up. So weapons always roll attack, and this is actually very good. So for a weapon, we're looking for mainly crit rate number 1. You know, you're almost always going to want crit rate on a crit damage weapon. So that's very good that we got that. And then after crit rate, we're looking for crit damage, speed, attack percent, you know, defense percent, because you're probably going to put this on a damage dealer, and they're probably going to scale with attack or defense, unless there's someone like Sir Nicholas or something. But most of the time, the damage dealing characters are going to scale with attack and defense. So resistance is not very good, but this weapon in general is very good. It rolled crit rate and crit damage. So what I like to do is just really quick roll this 4 times, because it's basically free and it's very quick to do, and we can see if this is going to make sense to really invest in or not. And boom, that's a big rip. This weapon had a lot of potential, but it had a 33% chance of slamming that resistance, and that's exactly what it did. So it still has a chance to roll double crit rate and be decent, but it's not going to be a super GG weapon. And then this one here rolled defense and HP. So it didn't roll crit chance or crit damage. So this would qualify as pretty bad. At least it did roll defense and HP, so it'd be decent for like a sustained build on a cold heart or something, but definitely nothing to write home about. The weapon had a lot of potential to be good, but ended up being pretty meh. The shield is kind of on the bad side. So that's kind of how I go about analyzing if the items are good or not. And yeah, that's kind of everything I wanted to cover in this quick little video about Dark Athel, and then a couple other random things that are going on right now. So as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.